Everybody, my name is Andrew Burke. This is the advanced marketing presentation. I am a sales engineer at RunSignUp. I've been here for about 7.5 years. I do a little bit of everything. I write some code, I interface with customers, and I sort of have a primary area in digital marketing.
Name is Eric Cohn. I am a vice president with RunSignUp. Been with RunSignUp since 2016, so working on 2 years. I've been in the industry for going on 14 years. I do a little bit of everything, partnerships, sales, and development. So get to have fun in all of those worlds.
Just a quick show of hands. Who was at the intro to marketing and marketing 101 earlier today? Okay, great. Seems like most everybody. We're going to be kind of building on some of those concepts from this morning. Basically, what we went over in that presentation was coming up with a marketing plan and really understanding what your benchmark is and what your goals are. It's really important before you get into doing the advanced marketing stuff where you need to know, are you trying to grow your race as fast as possible and you're willing to spend what you need to spend to do that? Are you trying to grow it more efficiently where you're really concerned about your ROI? Or are you trying to target specific participants, certain fundraisers, and really go after certain specific groups of people? So the first thing we're going to start out with is our referral tracking program. It's under your races dashboard. You can go to promotion and then referral tracking. That's where you'll see most of this setup. Essentially what our referral tracking system is doing is whenever somebody registers for a race, we generate a unique link that identifies that that link belongs to that registrant. So if that registrant then shares that link, whether it's through their social media or through their email system, however they share that link, we can track how many people register through that link. And it allows you to do some cool things when you can say that this person referred 3 people or 5 people into my race.
Basically, your most vocal participants, you'll be able to figure out who they are really quickly by just enabling this. They're the ones that are digitally yelling out, come participate with me. Using this link, you can sort of see those participants.
And so if you've got that feature turned on, there are a couple of things you can do with those referral numbers. They're called our Referral Rewards and our Referral Refunds. Referral Refunds allow you to configure a registration. So say once I've referred a specific number of people, I can be refunded onto the credit card that I used to register that amount. So I can do, in this example, say after someone has referred 5 participants, I want to refund them $25 back onto their credit card. And so since you've set this up and you're easily able to track who reaches those milestones, we run a little process each day that says if people have reached those numbers, that you can go ahead and we'll issue them that refund.
And you don't have to have just one. You can have graded levels or milestones that hit different refunds. So you can actually have one that's 25, and if you get to 10, you get $50 refunded or the whole amount. And then the idea with that is that they're going to continue to promote your race as they get refunds. If you get to the max, he's going to hit the next thing that we have just launched, which will show you some other options besides just refunding them some of their entry fee back.
2 quick notes for this is that this is only ever going to refund somebody up to what they paid for their registration. So if somebody registers for a race and they use a $10 coupon and they're supposed to receive a refund and they're going to be refunded more than they paid to register, we will not give them credit back beyond what they paid. So you get back up to what you paid even if the refund amount would be more than that, so you're never actually paying people. The second thing I would note on a best practice for this, we always recommend sort of doing a setup similar to what I have here, where you have, say, 5 participants and then you get a big refund. We recommend doing this rather than saying like you get a $5 refund per each participant because it gives people a goal to reach for. If I'm getting money back after every person I refer, I'm not really going to try to get to 5. I'm going to do a little bit of effort, and if I get 3, I'm happy with 3 because I got some money back. By setting that first milestone that they have to reach, it encourages them to at least refer that many people, and it keeps them engaged.
It also gets your ROI a lot higher on the marketing plan, and the reason why is the vast majority of them are going to start sharing. You're only going to get a slow percentage or lower percentage, I should say, at that 5 or above. So you're really only going to do refunds for a very small select group that are the most vocal and have the most attention online to bring participants in, and the rest of them are going to get 1 to 4 referrals and not get the refund.
The second option here are swag rewards. These are basically a way of giving out what we call our registration add-ons or different giveaways. So like I said, you are capped. You can't refund people beyond what they paid. So if you've got a really vocal person who gets a full refund after referring 10 people and you want to keep them engaged, you want to keep them referring people and having a reason to do so, you can use this new option. So I can say, after I've referred 20 people into my event, now I've already gotten my refund from the referral refunds, but I want to issue them a limited edition hoodie that they get if they refer 20 people. So it's a way of saying like you can continue to reward your people, your participants, beyond just refunding their registration if you set those sort of higher tiers and give them something to reach for, because then they're trying to keep referring people because they want that limited edition hoodie or whatever add-ons you want to give away.
And you could, in theory, flip that so that you could give the hoodie away first and go, hey, you know what? We're going to keep our costs down. A hoodie only cost me $15, and I have a whole bunch of them from last year that we're going to give away. So I could go three referrals. I'm going to give away 1,000 hoodies, and then after that, you get to 10. I'll give you $50 back. And what that'll do is it'll get people to that 3 referrals and go, wow, I'm now pretty darn close to 10. Let me share it 5 more times and get to that 10. Try to at least.
Yep, so they are completely independent of each other, so you can set up, like I said, the referrals or the refunds first or the rewards, whatever you want to do for that. So it's just kind of get creative with your marketing and how you want to approach that. So those are our referral options. These are the ones that are set up specifically for when a registrant signs up and we want to track how many people they are referring. The next marketing option I want to go through is our custom source tracking. This allows you to add a code and give it a description and say how much money you spent on this. If you're doing something like creating a Facebook ad, or even in other situations, like say you have somebody who's writing a blog post about your race and you have an agreement with them, like we're going to give you X dollars for every person who signs up for our race through your blog, you can create these codes and it's going to give you a link that you can then use to point people either to the race page or to the registration page. And so you can say, okay, when you link over to our race, use this link. And then when they're writing their posts and they're linking over to the site, we're able to track how many people come through that site and how many registrations are completed. So you're not just saying like, hey, write this post for us and tell us, we think that we're giving you about this. You can tie real numbers to it and say, you wrote this blog post, you sent us 15 registrations, this is what we'll give you for that.
So you can also use this for offline materials. You print something up, you have a billboard, you put a short URL that converts over to this, and now all that tracking is done right into RunSignUp. Someone types in that short URL that you posted on a print ad or on a billboard or anything like that. You can actually track right into our platform that takes them to the registration page, and they're a lot faster in actually getting into the registration process that way.
Yep, and this works for all your kinds of digital marketing too. So if you tag a link that you send out through email, or like I said, if you put it into a Facebook ad or Google, wherever something says like, give us a link where you're going to send it to, you can give them this link and it will be tracked through Race Insights. So it really allows you to understand and track where your traffic and registrations are coming from, which then allows you to apply those principles from the other presentation where you're trying to either grow your race and you're willing to, by looking at the analytics of which of your things are performing the best, you can then decide where your registration or where your marketing dollars should go because you know what is actually performing the best versus just kind of guessing at it. We'll do a question or two on the referral tracking or the custom sources.
And the referral tracking that you showed, we did 5 for $20, $15, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Then you did the swag.
Yes.
Was that set up correctly? So if the first 5 you get the dollars, and then is it 6 to 20, or was it additional 20?
So you would have to get to the 20th referral to get into the list of people that should get the hoodie, right? So if you inverted it, you would go 5 referrals to get a hoodie, 20 to get the $25. Either way, the referral tracking for the hoodies and the swag is just a list for you to be able to fulfill, right? So we're going to keep track of it. We're going to provide you a list of here's all the participants that should be getting a hoodie at packet pickup. The refunds are all automated. At 12:30 at night, if they've gotten to that 5th referral, they're going to get $25 refunded that night. Does that answer your question?
Hopefully mine's a really easy one. Sure. Under what sub-menu is that source tracking page on? Because I'm actually
Sure.
source tracking into the menu bar and it's actually not showing
It's
up.
not.
So I want to add that to the list.
So it's promotion and then source tracking and then source tracking codes is where you can generate those links. That's sort of our referral tracking and source tracking at a high level. Just generally, if you can track your links, you know what's performing better. It allows you to optimize your marketing plans and make sure your marketing dollars are going into the right place. So that's sort of your high level pitch for those things.
Any other questions?
I have one question. And I'm new, so I haven't used the system. That's race by race. So this is something you set up for that individual race for each race. It's not per person or...
No, it's per race, and so the person has to sign up for that race, and then they have to refer somebody to that race.
So it's all under the race setup.
Yes.
It is race by race, but you can also set it up in a way that is also enabled differently by event. So if you don't want to do referral rewards for your kids run, you don't have to.
Can you link events? So like if you had multiple races that you own, say, because we own some of ours and some of them we produce, but if they refer them to any of our own races, like is there any way to link that to where?
So right now the referral tracking is within a race. So like I said, it can be set up event by event. So if you have a 5K, 10K, and it's kids run, they can be configured separately, but it does have to be that race.
And I believe that's on the long-term pipeline to look at for the multi-race. So that would be potentially something that we would be looking at in a couple of years.
So that's sort of the first tool. That's one of my favorites I always recommend using. We see really great ROI on those compared to some other sources. So that's always one of the first places I say, if you're trying to grow your race, look at those referral stuff because you're basically getting your participants to do your marketing for you, which is a great way of growing your event. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the Facebook custom audiences. And this is going to be located under promotion and then down to Facebook custom audiences. Custom audiences in Facebook are basically your target list. So when you create an ad, you're saying, I want to present this ad to this group of people. And that's called your audience, the audience of the ad. So these custom audiences, we give you 3 reports. And they're all participants, which is anyone who's ever participated in your event. We also include what's called a lifetime value along with that. So if they've participated in your event multiple times, then we kind of include they're a higher value customer. So when we push that information over to Facebook, it can sort of use that information when it's trying to create some audiences. We also have current participants, which will give you a list of everybody who's currently registered for your event. And then non-registered previous participants, which is everybody who has run in your event before, but is not yet registered for the event this year. And so what these reports do is you'll click this link and it'll give you a download, a CSV, which you can then take over to Facebook when you're trying to create your audience, which is who you're going to serve your ad to. So under Facebook, you go into your ads manager and you can select the audiences option from this tab. And you'll have the option to create an audience. And there are 2 types of audiences here within Facebook. And the first is called a custom audience. What a custom audience is doing is it's taking that list of people. Say I have a list of 3,000 participants that I exported from that list. I upload that into Facebook. It's going to take the data points from those people and it's going to figure out who they are on Facebook. It's going to figure out who their Facebook profiles are. You're not going to get 100% match because not everybody's on Facebook. Depending on the demographics of your event, you may have better match results than others. We've typically seen around 70 to 80% of accounts are able to be matched to something in Facebook. And so essentially what you're doing with this custom audience is you're not creating this sort of demographics where you're guessing at, between 18 and 40 and interested in, these different things. You're creating a specific list of Facebook accounts. And so since you know what that list is in a specific group of people, I might be renewing my race for next year. I'm going to download a list of all people who have participated in my event in the past. I'm going to create this custom list. And when I'm running my Facebook ad, I know that this ad is going to be served to people who have run in my race in the past. That allows you to control my messaging, what I want to put in the description. Maybe I put a coupon code into that message that says, hey, we know you've come back and run again this year. And you can really tailor and configure your marketing message to that custom list because you know everybody has participated before.
It's a remarketing to people you've already won, but you may not always reach out to them and connect with email or other forms. So you're allowed to use Facebook to say, here's my past participants. I want to market to these people very specifically with a message that has come back to our race this year. You could even talk about medals. You could say, this is a new race course, whatever it may be, whatever the message may be that you want to get across. It's to people that know your brand already. That's probably the most important thing to know about the custom audience.
And it can also be used as an excluding tool. So say you're halfway through your marketing, your race, and you want to say, I want to run a Facebook ad, but I don't want to bother serving this ad to people who have already signed up for my event. You can create a custom audience of people who have aren't currently registered, and then you can exclude that audience. So when you run your ad, you're not putting it in front of people who have already registered and wasting your marketing dollars. So custom audiences are pretty powerful. The next thing here is a lookalike audience. Actually, we'll go to the custom audience next, but I'll show you just real quick with this custom audience. When you go to create it, you're going to take this pop-up, you're going to click on a customer file, and then you're going to add a customers from your own file or copy-paste data, and then Facebook's going to give you a little pop-up, and you're basically going to take that file that you downloaded from RunSignUp, and you're just going to drag it over and drop it into this field. The file from RunSignUp has been formatted, and it has all of the data points that Facebook is looking for in exactly the format that it's expecting, so you don't have to do any kind of column matching, massaging of the data, anything like that. Drop it in here, you're going to get a whole bunch of green check marks because it's going to say you've got everything, and you just click next, and you're going to go ahead and create that custom audience. So to jump back, the lookalike audience here, before I talked about when you're trying to create an audience that you want to serve your ads to, most of the time now you're saying, here's my target age range, I want to go to people who have this interests, and you're trying to come up with what you think is common amongst your runners. What a lookalike audience is doing is it takes that list that you uploaded into Facebook, and Facebook's algorithm is going into those people and say, okay, what do these people have in common? And it's actually going through and it's figuring out what actually is the common threads between your participants. So instead of you kind of taking your best guesses at your demographics and your interests, Facebook goes and says, nope, we see this common thread throughout all of your participants that you may have missed. And so then it creates an audience for that. So the lookalike audiences are a great way if you're trying to grow your race, you're trying to go to people who are similar to other people who participated in your event. They're not the specific people who had before, but you're focused on trying to reach out to new participants. The lookalike audiences are a great way to really target in on the people who are most likely to participate in your event. The one thing I'll say, if you do create a lookalike audience, when you create the audience, you are not able to do the geo-targeting. You can't do zip code radiuses when you create the lookalike audience. However, when you create the advertisement itself, that's when you can put those zip codes in. So if you go to create a lookalike audience and you're like, this is 1 million people and I have to target the entire United States, don't worry about it. Get to the next step. When you go to create the ad, that's when you can put your geo-targeting on top of that audience and restrict your areas that you're looking at. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll jump over to the next sort of promotional tool that you can use in RunSignUp. This next one is called a loyalty program or priority registrations. This is a way of sort of setting up you have a restricted list of people, so only people who are on a specified list are able to register for the event. So you can upload a list of first name, last name, email address, and date of birth. I usually recommend not worrying about email address because those change. If somebody matches on first name, last name, and date of birth, it's usually the same person. I'd go ahead and let them register. But you can create this sort of priority registration period, usually done as a loyalty program. I put it at the beginning of the registration, and you say, okay, if you have participated in this event in the past, then you can sign up for these 3 days before people who haven't participated before. So it makes them feel special. They have this call to action of, I'm a VIP or I'm a loyal registrant, I've run in this race in the past, I want to go ahead and sign up. And as the race directors, you have the ability to do things for them, right? So you want to reward them for signing up early. You can do this in different ways. You can set a specific price point where you say, I don't have to worry about coupon codes or any of that. You have a 3-day window where if you participated before, it's $5 off the race, and I just set that price in. And so then those past participants get in, and they get that price point. I've seen other races where they say, if you sign up in these 3 days or you're a previous participant, you get a different giveaway option. You get sort of an upgraded. So instead of a regular shirt, you're getting a tech shirt. You can restrict that 3-day registration period where the people on this list, they have to match it. And then if they sign up during that time, they get the tech shirt, and then you change your giveaway to be the regular one. So if people sign up during the rest of the registration period, they're getting what would be sort of the normal giveaway instead. So again, it gives you just ways of being creative, so you can use those different marketing ideas of saying, like, here is a priority registration. It says most typically used for previous registrants, but it's not restricted to that. You can upload any kind of a CSV of name and date of birth into the system, and we'll match on that. If they're on the list, they're allowed to register during this time frame. If they're not, then they get a message saying that it's priority registration, and they're not allowed to register yet. The one other thing I'll say on that is you can have one other setting here, which is pretty cool. It's called number of buddies allowed. So if I want to say, you know, you're on the list, so you're allowed to bring a friend with you, I'll allow you to sign up to one buddy with you, or maybe two. And so if you run into that situation where somebody says, like, well, I've run in the past before, but I don't want to run by myself. I want my friend to come with me. And if they're not on this list, then I can't sign them up. But maybe you want to allow that. You can set a buddy, and it basically allows that one person to piggyback on the person who is on your priority registration list, and it allows them to join.
The idea is you're playing on exclusivity. Now all of a sudden you have to provide something a lot of times that is unique, either swag or the fact that you're a lower price point, or just because you're loyalty, if you have a sellout race, you're guaranteed in. So those are three common themes. You have to have something that drags them into that bucket quicker because they're a loyal participant. And the reality is they're usually your most vocal. So you want them in the bucket fast. And if you can get them through a loyalty program, that's a great way for you to sort of build that initial rewards program. You hit 5,000 people in that are most vocal, and you not only you hit them with, you're getting this cool swag because you're loyal, but oh, by the way, you can get free entry if you refer 15 people, something like that.
And then because they're signing up at the beginning, they have enough time to generate those referrals because they're getting in early.
Yes, sir.
Buddy has to register, piggyback on the loyal registrant, right?
Yes.
Yeah, can't register independently.
No, it wouldn't be
Correct.
independently. It goes in and it says the first person, the first registrant is on the list. They're allowed a certain number of buddies, but it's in the same transaction.
So it could be buddy, family, it could be a lot of different things.
Thanks.
And this is for that current year's registration. So if I have a race coming up this weekend, and I want to do priority event registration like 3 days following that event, I have to have the following year's event already created, right?
Yes, it
The
is.
next year. You have to renew and then use the previous year's participant list, or you could, in theory, use a loyalty list that is 10 years to say, all right, this is the loyalty list of people that have run it in the last 10 years. I've renewed. You go in here, you build that list out real quick, and that's how you would effectively do it, Greg.
And so I think just to try to touch on what I think the core of your question is, when the race finishes, if you can renew your race for next year right away and then set up the priority list for the next 3 days to get people to sign up for next year, do that because it's the best, it's the cleanest data, it's the best way to do it. If for some reason you're not able to renew your race right away and you still want to have that 3-day window right after your race to collect registrations, you can set up like a temporary race, like a placeholder, set up your priority registration, take those in. When you close that down, renew your first race and move the information over. You always want to move it back because you want to make sure you're renewing your race from year to year and you're using that one race. But if for some reason you're saying, well, I just can't renew my race right now, even though you can renew it and put dates to be determined in the future, you can change things. But if there's some reason you really couldn't, you can sort of set up a placeholder and then move people over afterwards. Sort of a last resort, though.
Thank you.
The Utica Boilermaker, each year, previous year's finishers get advanced registration like a week ahead of time. Is that how, do they set that up?
Yep, that's this.
Okay.
That is the Boilermaker.
That's one of the other, for your sellout races, and you want to make sure previous people get in before sellouts, this is a great way of doing it.
So if I own 3 races, can I create my priority list from past participants of all those races to sort of have priority registration of the race I'm opening now?
Yes.
You can, and what I'm going to tell you the best news is when the CRM is finished, you're going to have a list tool that will literally create that for you and dynamically keep it updated. And you can take that and go export and go right here. So you can go anyone that did these 3 races, build a CRM out of those 3, and it could be years worth of data. And then the CRM is going to flatten that out for you and say, here are the unique people, the contacts, and you drop it in here and you have your list.
So as a follow-up, would you have to do that, say, under your partner site, export it, and then import it into that specific rate? Is that what you're saying?
Well, the CRM is going to be actually across partners even. So you can actually have a race that is outside of your partner account. So as an example, Peggy has a 5K series. She manages the Philadelphia Marathon also. She can go across all of those in the CRM and say, give me everyone. It's basically the CRM is every race that you're a race director for. Okay, where a partner account is really it's one organization in a sense, right?
So the real power of the CRM is going to be, I mean, we're going through all of my favorite marketing tools within RunSignUp right now. These are all of the different actions that you're going to be able to take. The CRM is going to do, it's going to allow you to create these lists. So right now I'm saying things like upload a CSV into one race, or you can do those different things. What the CRM is really going to do, when you create a list, you don't have to do those exports of CSVs, manually massage your data, and figure out what your lists are. You're going to be able to put in specific criteria and then say, here's this list of people, and I want to take this following action. I want to create a loyalty program for this list of people. I want to send this list of people over to Facebook, or I want to do referral reward. So that's really where the CRM is going to come in, where you're going to be able to say, here's these lists of people. I want to take these specific marketing actions on them, and we'll be able to allow you to search and segment. So right now we're doing things like current participants and previous participants. We're giving you these formatted lists. If you want to do anything fancier than that, you kind of have to massage the data yourself. CRM is going to make it so you don't have to do that. You can be able to say, I want to look at not just previous participants, but people who have been in the race for the last 3 years or 5 years. And you'll be able to create those lists a lot easier and take all of these different marketing actions on them.
One question. If you were to use a reward, like a t-shirt, where is it you see that you need to give this person a t-shirt at packet pickup?
So we built the rewards to be part of the add-on system. So if you're using race add-ons at all, the rewards and the swag rewards are going to show up in all of the add-on reports. So we wanted to do that to keep everything in one place. So registration add-ons and the swag rewards will all show up in the add-on reports. And one thing, so if you're giving away like a hoodie, for example, and you need people to select what size hoodie they want, when they qualify for the reward, we will send them an email with a link to their registration that says, congratulations, you have just qualified for this hoodie. You now need to select what size you want. And they'll go in and they'll say, yeah, I need a large hoodie. They'll save it. And then in all of your add-on reports, it'll show up where this person has that hoodie and the size large. And if maybe they bought a dinner ticket or something as an add-on, it'll all show up in the same spot. So you're managing, so your race day, I'm looking around and I've got this report of my add-ons and you've got it all in one place, so I can turn around and say, okay, I know this person got a hat and I know they bought a hoodie and they're getting a regular t-shirt. It's all in one spot, so then you can just give everybody that package. We wanted to keep that information in one place so you didn't have to go and check 3 different reports to see what you were giving somebody during packet pickup.
I remember my question.
All right.
With the, I just started managing a race this year that we have 10 years and have imported 10 years, back years of registration data. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of bad email addresses and things like that in that. When you export that to go to Facebook, do you just let Facebook deal with it, clean it up, or?
Yeah, so if you export it, the data will come out of RunSignUp in the right format. Some of the email addresses might not match. You may be, depending on what kind of data you imported, you might be missing a field or something like that. We will still export everything we can, give it to Facebook. You might have a little bit of a lower match percentage than if you had like completely clean data, but the process will still work. So that was our loyalty program. Next thing I like is we have our reserved entries, and these will be pretty quick. One of my favorite things for the reserved entries is it allows you to set a specific price point and send out an email that people will have a link that if they follow that link, they get that price. This is great for sponsors. You can send out like a single-use reserved entry where I can say only one person is allowed to use this particular registration link. But it's a great way of saying, like, instead of sending somebody a coupon code and saying register using this coupon code, you can send them a reserved entry link, and then it'll say follow this link and you register for free. They don't have to enter in a coupon code or anything. They followed that link, so they get that. It's also really helpful if you're setting a specific price and you're not sure when somebody's going to sign up. So you have like a bunch of price increases, and you want to, if you give a coupon, you have to do $20 off. So it's going to depend on when they register. This reserved entry allows you to set it out and say, this is going to be a $20 entry fee. It doesn't matter when you're signing up. That's what the cost is going to be. So it's a great way to just reach out to people, sponsors, elite athletes, anything like that, where you just want to send them this one-time link and set a specific price. And you can also create a multi-use link. So I want to allow you to have multiple people register through this. So it's a great thing. Like if you've got a sponsor and you're saying, okay, anybody who signs up from this sponsorship is going to pay $10 or $15. You give that link to your sponsor, and then they can give it to their participants, and then everybody coming through that link gets that price instead of having to say, hey, sponsor, here's your coupon code, and they need to get that coupon code out to all of their participants. Somebody forgets to enter it, somebody gives it to their friend, etc. You can really make it a little bit easier by using these multi-use codes and setting specific prices.
Yes, Chuck?
Does the event price have to be non-zero?
No, that's what I say. You can set a $0 entry. So if you want to send a free entry out to somebody, set the event price to 0. So next marketing tool that I always recommend everyone uses is our automated emails. Really quick, incomplete registrations. They get an email next day or two telling them, hey, you didn't finish your registration. Come back to finish. That's a great one. Price increase emails are also very effective. You can set it up a couple days before a price increase. It'll go out. You can configure that to go out so that your current registrants get an email and it says, hey, be sure to invite your friends. By the way, here's your referral code link. Make sure you give this out to people because the price is about to go up. And then another version goes out to previous participants who aren't registered saying, hey, heads up, your price is about to go up. Make sure you get in before that price increases.
And so, the registration follow-up, if you're doing rewards, you can actually enable that to make sure that you continue to communicate with them to refer others.
Right.
Follow-up emails can literally just talk about that in a sense.
Yeah, sometimes somebody's in the middle of a registration. They're not thinking about the referral reward program. They may not read. They may not know that it's there or really understand what it is. So you send them an email 2 days after their registration has been completed saying, hey, did you see this referral reward program? If you send us 5 people, you'll get a an extra t-shirt or a pair of socks. And that type of thing. So registration follow-up is really good for communicating that type of information. I just want to show a couple of other kind of handy reports here. So from the reports tab, there's the marketing reports. My favorite of this is this repeat participant report. This basically tells you who has participated in your event multiple times, how many times they've participated, and that type of thing. It makes it very useful. So if you want to go into here and say, I want to send out a loyalty program for everybody who's been in my race at least 6 years, I can go ahead and download this list of participants, sort by everybody who's been in here 6 times, and then create a priority list for that group of people who've been there 6 times. You'll be able to do this a little bit easier with the CRM stuff. But again, a lot of this functionality is in RunSignUp. We do have these CRM capabilities. What we're really focusing on is bringing it to the forefront and making it so that it's very easy to use, where you can create your lists and not have to do different types of exports to use the marketing tools we have available. Just a couple of other quick things we can touch on. Groups have always been really great. If you want to encourage people to sign up together, register as friends, even if they're not involved in the actual scoring of the event in any form, or doesn't really matter. People still want to sign up as friends. They want to say, we're running together. And so you can use those as different marketing tools, like the group with the highest number of participants gets this other reward, or whatever kind of marketing spin you want to put on it. You can create this sort of fun groups or fun teams. And within those, you can do different kinds of pricing options. So I can say, like, once your group reaches a certain size, then everybody who signs up is getting discounts. So say normally it's $25 to sign up for the race. Once my group hits 10 people, it drops to $20, and everybody who's signed up gets that $5 refund back to them. Again, it's just another way of trying to do marketing. It's similar to the referral rewards, where you're trying to get the participants to do your marketing for you. And it's just sort of another format where they can create the teams, give them special pricing.
Company-based teams are another one where you can actually set up corporate-like teams where you're trying to get all the groups are effectively companies that are going to come together. You still have standard pricing. That's another way of using teams to try and generate a buzz, if you will.
And you can have a group be prepaid as well. So say I'm a captain, I want to pay for my team of 10 up front. I can go ahead and do that, and then everybody who goes to join that team is able to join the team for free. So you're essentially collecting the money for the whole team up front, and then other people are joining the team as you move forward. But it gives them a nice link. So basically, I'm the captain, I'm setting up the team, I paid for all of my friends, everybody use this link, join my team for free. And it's just, again, another way of sort of that social interaction to help get your runners to participate in your marketing efforts. Last thing has been touched on for different marketing. If you use Google Analytics, I highly recommend you connect RunSignUp to it if you haven't already. All we need is your Google Analytics account number. It's highlighted in the example code up top. Take that Google Analytics account number, drop it into this Google Analytics tracking ID spot, and we will start to fire your Google Analytics information on all race pages. And if you are using Google Analytics, also make sure you turn on e-commerce reporting. It is off by default in Google Analytics, but we fire the transaction information to Google Analytics when somebody registers. So we turn back what purchases they have, what their event is, how much they paid, and we fire all of that e-commerce data over to Google Analytics. Just have to tell Google Analytics to listen for it. And if you set all of this up, it really allows you to check the transactions and see what their sources are and who's registering it. So if you are using Google Analytics, definitely drop in your codes and set up the e-commerce transaction. It's just going to give you more really useful data. This is just our sort of our search participant screen for the CRM we're talking about. These are really going to be the things that you're able to do with the CRM. We're going to create lists off of all different kind of criteria. This is where you'll be creative, where you're trying to come up with a different kind of a program where people who've been in my race for more than 3 years, people who've raised over a certain amount of dollars, different things. So you'll be able to create segments of your participants, and then you'll be able to do the promotions, which are the various actions that we just walked through, creating loyalty programs or pushing out to Facebook, and you'll be able to take actions on those. So this is just going to make it streamlined and easy to use all of these different promotional tools on the specific segments of your participants that you want to take these actions on. Those are all the tools we wanted to walk through. There are help videos, how-tos, webinars, all of that stuff on most of these topics. So if you go in, you can check out the help sections on them and look at those, and it should walk you through the technical setup of those. You can always reach out to your account managers if you have questions on enabling these different features. We really wanted to kind of give a high level what our good marketing tools are and sort of in what situations you want to use those.
Any additional questions?
As far as the add-ons, is there a way to have a report generated when somebody, I get like sometimes you don't have that report generated, but when someone does have a referral swag, a report's generated, say, oh, you should send them the hat or the whatever, so they're not waiting for registration to do that? Or you have to manually go in there and see them?
So as soon as they qualify for the add-on, it'll appear in the add-on report, and it will be marked that it is a swag reward. So it'll be up to you. If you want to go to that report and see somebody has gotten that and they qualify for it, and you want to send it out before race day, it will appear in the reports as soon as they earn that item. It's just depending on when.
You get an auto-generated notification saying, oh, somebody qualified, you should send this out. You have to manually go into the report and check every once in a while to see if anybody qualified for that reward.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think once you put it in view participants, you can put that as one of the columns. Is that possible?
Yes.
Because I customize all my stuff, and I'm looking at view participants all the time, so I can see it.
Yes, but to go back to the question, you would have to check the reports to see if somebody's qualified. We do not
Versus
have
getting an email.
Yeah, we do not have a notification set up for something. That's something we can look into. Any other questions? I think we're all set then. Thank you guys very much.